Fire Sword, Chapter 26. Take the Capital, Part the 4th. Marth, we need to go, Morgan said as Sachi cradled the now unconscious Yui. I know you're worried about her, but the shepherds need us in the palace with them. We've been delayed long enough as it is. I can't just leave them like this, Marth argued back. Yui is more than capable of fighting, but Lady Sachi is... no offense. He gave the short-haired girl an apologetic look as soon as the words left his mouth. None taken, Sachi said quietly, but your sister is right. You two are some of the shepherd's best, and they need your help to win the battle. Maybe not, Marth said as he moved to scoop Yui out of Sachi's arms, much to her surprise. Lady Sachi, fly my sister over to the palace as quickly as you can. I'll take care of Yui. You have my word as Robin and Lucina's son. But no more arguments, Morgan. Just go, Marth said sharply. We don't have time to debate this anymore. Yes, they need us, but Yui needs us too. This is the only compromise I can think of right now. I will see you soon, but for now, you need to go. He made a jerking motion with his head toward the palace with a meaningful glance at Sachi. Oh, okay, the timid girl said as she moved to grab Morgan from behind. If you say so. Come on, Morgan. You better be safe, Morgan called down as Sachi began to take off. I will, Marth called back up. Kick that dastard Walhart's teeth in for me. As soon as they were gone, he got to his feet with Yui in his arms and started walking back toward the base camp, where he knew Lady Maribel would be waiting to tend the wounds of those that had fallen on the battlefield. Although the girl was only a year or two younger than him, his training regime kept him strong enough to carry her with undue stress to his body, though saying it was easy for the young man wouldn't have been accurate. Once he was done seeing to Yui's safety, he would rush back to the side of his sister. Yuki! Aiko! Switch! Kirito shouted as he and Asuna darted forward with their wings aiding their speed. The twin girls backflipped in unison to let their teammates by, in order to give them a quick respite against the squadron of swordsmen. Riken, with me! Leafa ordered as she outstretched her arms. Elwind! A blade of wind shot from her palm less than a moment later. I'm right with you, the young mage said as he opened a green tome. Arc wind! His horizontal tornado followed her wind blade with great accuracy and bowled over the enemy she had weakened with the wind magic. The two of them high-fived in victory, seeing their success. Meanwhile, Sinon was perched above in an alcove and was sniping archers that were coming in from every other passageway that led to the throne room. Silica and Pina were airborne and ramming into Pegasus units with reckless abandon. The shepherds were all fighting harder than they ever had before in their entire lives, some of them because they didn't want to be showed up by the fairies of Alfheim. Whatever the case, the group was making steady progress with Robin, Crom, Flavia, and Basilio at the front of the charge. Close by the two leaders of the shepherds were their respective partners, Sumia in Crom's case, and Lucina in Robin's. Together, no man could stand against them in battle and live to tell of it. They had a slight stumbling block when they were confronted by Excellus, Walhart's personal tactician. The 6 warriors faced off against the fat man, waiting for him to make the first move. Then, with a knowing smile on Robin's lips, the shepherds allowed a third party to make the first move. Elwind! Morgan cried as she dropped down from above, a tired-looking Sachi hovering near the ceiling on her blue wings. The wind blast buffeted her fall and forced Excellus to move out of the way as fast as his massive body could move. As she straightened up, she flashed the tactician a cocky grin as she said, Rule 9 of strategy according to my father. Attack from the direction people are least likely to look. Bah! Excellus spat. This is what the mighty shepherds send against me, the great Excellus. A child. That child's got more brains between her ears at her age than you'll have in your whole life, you stinking tub of lard. Crom shot back as he leveled falchion at his enemy. And I don't like it when people mock my family. Keep your cool, Grandpa. I got this guy. Morgan grinned as her body began to glow. I'm more than ready to take him on. Her frame suddenly burst into a rosy hue of flames, yet not one of her clothing appeared to be burning. What sorcery is this? Excellus gasped, taking another involuntary step back. This is the secret technique of my father's family, Morgan replied, her voice and countenance now solemn. Like aether flows through the blood of my brother, so does the power of Ignis run through mine. None have seen it in combat and lived. She drew her 11th sword and held it in a ready stance. Robin's eyes were just as wide as his teammates. He had no idea that he possessed such a technique, much less taught it to any of his children in the future. Everyone go, Morgan said as lightning began to dance across her blade. Find Walhart, do what we came to do. This so-called tactician is about to learn what it means to think on your feet. Robin? Lucina said as she looked at the silver-haired man. She's got this. He nodded even as Sachi landed beside them. Where the devil is Marth? The group took off down a side passage, with Sachi struggling to keep up. Yui was overwhelmed by all the fighting, Sachi replied breathlessly. Marth took her back to camp to keep her safe. I think he's planning to come back as soon as he can. I just hope he doesn't run into trouble, Sumiya said. Dear, we're in a war zone, Crom sighed. And we're shepherds. It's all but in our job description to go looking for trouble. Sachi! Kirito called out as his group came to join them. Are you okay? Hi, Kirito. Sachi said as she gave Asuna a cautious glance. When the other girl nodded, Sachi hugged Kirito with relief before the group started to move again. We had to go back to the infirmary. The fighting got to be too much for her. Kirito cursed in response. I knew we should have kept her with us, he said. You know just as well as I do how stubborn she's gotten, Asuna sighed. But I can't really say I'm surprised. She is our child. Yeah. Kirito muttered, still angry with himself for letting his little girl be put in danger. Wait, who went back with her? Before Sachi could answer, Crom interrupted them. Save it for later, he ordered. We need to get back to the throne room. Seri, how far is it? Not far, the Chonsen princess replied as the group took down another massive hallway. Behind them, they could already hear Excellus screaming. Morgan slapped aside his fireball with lightning from her sword and moved in closer. People like you disgust me, she said as she unleashed a bolt of energy that left a smoking mark where Excellus had been less than a moment before. You mean people like your so-called Grandmaster? Excellus sneered. We're cut of the same cloth, he and I. We use people to further our own ends. That's how tactics works, my dear. No, they're not. Lightning struck Excellus a glancing blow, burning his arm and causing him to leap away with a speed fueled by fear and pain. My father always taught me to conserve every life in every battle. You just use them as numbers, a means to an end. That's all that people are, my dear. Excellus giggled as he retaliated with his own lightning spell, finally managing to drive Morgan back a bit. Numbers on pieces of paper that make up an army. Those that are born below you will always serve beneath you. And just, you see, one day you'll look back and realize just how many battles you could have won without your misguided morals hampering your progress. Never. Morgan growled, her flames growing brighter and more intense. I never regret using what my father taught me. Stupid low-born insect! Excellus spat. You really think I care about what your father taught you? You're nothing but a child playing at an adult's game! Wrong again! Morgan thundered, the power in her voice betraying her youth. This isn't a game, Excellus, and now you're going to see that sometimes we insects have a nasty bite! She darted forward with her mother's speed to strike into Excellus' center, the power of her father flowing out from her body into the magical sword, which in turn poured into the fat tactician. If the stab wound wasn't enough to finish the job, the Ignis-fueled lightning she unleashed definitely was. She wrinkled her nose with the scent of burning flesh as she stepped away and let the body slump to the floor unceremoniously. It seems like the only thing he ever really excelled at was making people angry, she muttered to herself. It was by no means a silent place in the throne room, but Kirito heard nothing going on around him. All of his attention was centered on the massive man in a suit of demonic-looking red armor. They had never seen one another before this day, yet both of them hated the other with every fiber in their being. Walhart, the Conqueror of Valm, looked down at the boy standing at the steps to his throne with utter contempt. This was the mighty warrior that his men were afraid of? This was the famed Black Swordsman of the Shepherds, the one who could destroy armies with his twin blades? A mere boy? Although Kirito and the others were largely unaware, the stories of the winged warriors in the ranks of the Elysian shepherds had spread like wildfire throughout Valm. Their exploits had caused Walhart's forces to all but abandon their morale. For who could stand up to fighters blessed with divine, or demonic, some would say, powers? But Walhart had no need for gods or any other higher powers. There were men and there were dead men. Only two such existences lived under his rule, and he would not have some cheap sorcery destroy all what he had worked to instill in his people. You are the Black Swordsman, Walhart rumbled as he stood from his throne. Kirito settled into his stance and replied, Yeah, I'm called that. And you're the bastard that killed my friend. His tone wasn't loud, but his anger carried very clearly to the Emperor. Walhart's lips twitched upward in amusement as he replied, Ah, the red-winged fighter, yes. I remember him, and I don't remember many. You should feel honored that your comrade garnered my attention. So few have been able to fight me for as long as he. It'll be my honor to gut you, Kirito shouted, his wings fanning out to their full width. Come on, Conqueror! Your friend promised me a good fight on your behalf just before I killed him, Walhart declared as he leaped onto his horse, which was waiting patiently for him. He unlimbered his massive war axe and hefted it high over his head, seemingly with little effort. "Do him justice, Black Swordsman!" "I intend to!" Kirito bellowed as he shot forward on shining black wings. As he flew to meet Walhart, he remembered Klein's cheerful grin when he had said, "They say life is made of the challenges you face, so keep soldiering on, young man." Weapons in hand, Kirito prepared to avenge his best friend. Chapter 26. So this actually marks us at halfway the audio series, because there's, there's 52 chapters in total for the original Fire Sword. I've been doing this for quite a while now. I think I'll be able to get the whole audio series done within a year of me having started this project, but it's gonna be a little bit of a close thing. I was gonna say, so originally I think I was only supposed to make the Siege of Valm a 3-part series, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna keep building up on the tension and like how, like, because I remember a lot of people were like, yes, we're gonna see Kirito fight Walhart, and it's not happened yet. Yes, we're gonna see Kirito fight Walhart, and it's not happened. When is it happening? Well, the answer is it happens. Next chapter, chapter 27, taking the capital, part the 5th. You guys should be able to listen to that on audio here in just a few days, a week at the most. Or you can go, if you've not heard this story, if you've not read this story already, and you somehow found this audio series on your own, go to my fanfiction website. My pen name on there is Mataris. Just find the story, Fire Sword, and go on to chapter 27 if you want to know what happens after this. But thank you so much, guys, for giving this a listen. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. And if you're so inclined and you have the ability to do so, please, if you wouldn't mind checking out my Patreon, any little bit would be really helpful to me. I want to give a special thanks to Will Underwood, as he is my biggest supporter right now, and it means a lot to me, man. Thank you so much for supporting what I do and the work that I love. So, yeah, just thanks. I'll see you guys all for the next video, which should be, like I said, a week at the most. Take care. Red Swordsman out.